update you on all the running stories, and connect you to the newsmakers.
City News.
It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the world. We are live on citinewsroom.com. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Coming up, Ghana on course to receive second tranche of IMF balance of support payment of $600 million by November 2023. That's according to Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta.
We can try and get a staff level agreement while the mission is here and then go to the board in November for the release of the second tranche, which will be $600 million.
Also coming up, Goso Township in the Bono region thrown into a state of mourning following the death of the Kontihini of the traditional area.
From the eyewitness, they found him under a certain tree. He was lying prostrate, but he was like.
Still ahead, CTAG calls off their 1-month-old strike with a promise to fight for their frozen August salary.
That in our case, we are not like medical doctors and other people in other fields where you go on strike and the patient you ought to have seen yesterday, you won't have the chance to see that patient tomorrow. In our case, we have our course outlines, all the items on the course outlines we are going to teach, not one hour that we have presumed. So I think morally and logically, we have to be given a salary.
And later, residents of Kumasi urged to exercise patience and cooperate as authorities begin permanent works on the Swami Interchange project in Kumasi.
Finally, we are starting with permanent works. I will plead that we exercise restraint when using that road so that we can be safe at all times on the construction sections of the road. And we hope that within a couple of years, we'll be able to deliver the project as expected.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live on all our affiliates across the country. Upper West region, we are live on Tumpani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli, Drapa FM 96.1 in Drapa. Upper East, we are live on Rikas FM 92.1 in Bongo Namo. Northern region, North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale. Northeast region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigo. Western region, Beach FM 105.5 in Takrade. Ashanti region, we are live on Focus FM 94.3 on KNUST campus in Kumasi. Orange FM 107.9 also in Kumasi. Volta region, this is live on Seller Radio 97.1 in Dabala and Holy FM 98.1 in Aplao. Savannah region, this is Kasha FM 99.5 in Damongo.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin the bulletin on the education front. The Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, has suspended its strike following a directive by the National Labour Commission to return to the classroom as it works with government to fulfill their demand. The month-long industrial action was as a result of the government's failure to honor the NLC's arbitral award orders and the negotiated conditions of service since May 2, 2023. Speaking to Citi News on the suspension of the strike, the national president of CTAG, Prince Obinhima, says they are hopeful NLC would work in the best interest of the teachers this time round.
You'll recall that at the last meeting at the NLC directed us to call off the strike because in their opinion, the government had complied largely with the ruling. And where they have not complied, they had also compelled them to give timelines to indicate when and how those things will be done. So on the basis of that, we were to call off so that they will get opportunity to supervise and referee the full implementation of, those other items. We say that, we needed to touch base with our people because the decision to call off the action or to determine strike, to go on strike, rests with the rank and file per our constitution. So we communicated the decision to members and asked members to engage by way of voting on the decision, whether we were complying with the NLT directive or defying. At the end of the vote, the people unanimously decided that we have to call off the action. So that is where we are. On the strength of that, we are coming out with a formal letter to the NLC to communicate that to them, and also a directive to our members, so that we'll give them up to Thursday to be able to report to their stations, because within the period, some may have traveled and what have you, so we'll be able to work. So that's where we are at the moment.
Mr. Obinhima further said leadership of CITAG will further engage relevant authorities to have their August salaries restored.
Yeah, we weren't paid. But we calling off the action has nothing to do with the salary freeze, because you recall that information about the salary freeze came earlier, and we decided that with or without salary, we're going to press on. So we are at a point that we feel like the commission has given directive and as a law-abiding organization, even though we may not have fully agreed with the commission in the ruling or in the totality of the ruling. We believe in the rule of law. You go to court, you won't have it all your way. So in the light of that, we have decided to suspend the action. We will have to engage, and officially the National Labour Commission in their ruling asked that we call off the action to give them opportunity to intervene in the salary freeze. So we're looking forward to they intervening and subsequently having the salary paid to us. We're going to engage to ensure that the members get a salary. We have said that in our case, we are not like medical doctors and other people in other fields where you go on strike and the patient you ought to have seen yesterday, you won't have the chance to see that patient tomorrow. In our case, we have our course outlines, all the items on the course outlines we are going to teach one hour that we have resumed. So I think morally and logically, we have to be given a salary.
That was the national president of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, Prince Obinhima.
Let's bring you other stories now. On the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj is urging Parliament to engage with the LGBTQ+ community in Ghana thoroughly before proceeding with the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill. Now, Shraj is specifically calling on Parliament to initiate a dialogue with all stakeholders involved to uphold the rights of minority groups and safeguard their integrity. Now, speaking during her speech at the Christoph Heinz African Human Rights Moot Court competition held at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, Deputy Commissioner of Shraj, Mercy Labi, emphasized the need for Parliament to conduct extensive consultations before passing the bill.
It is not in dispute that the conversation around LGBT rights is highly contested within African societies, as cultural and religious differences have often been invoked to reject even the most basic rights of LGBT persons. The challenge for us as African human rights activists and practitioners is to create the space for dialogue and negotiate on these contested rights with those who hold strong view against them. It is in recognition of this reality that the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, as part of its contribution to the LGBT debate, submitted a memorandum to Parliament and strongly recommended to the House to embark on extensive engagement with all stakeholders, including the LGBT community, to arrive at outcomes that secures the dignity of everyone.
You heard there the Deputy Shraj Commissioner, Mercy Labi.
Now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says Ghana is on course for the second tranche of the International Monetary Fund loan in December to support government balance of payment for 2023 and 2024. The Bank of Ghana's June 2023 Summary of Economic and Financial Stability Report shows that the bank's balance of payment at the end of June 2023 recorded a deficit of 100.7 $107.8 million. This, the bank said, was far lower than the deficit recorded during the same period in 2022. Speaking at the third GIPC CEO breakfast meeting in Accra, Mr. Oforiatta said the government is ready to have its first review with the fund in November as it awaits the second tranche of $600 million to help support the bank.
But with regards to the fund, I think we have done well, and we continue to do. We're going to have our first review after the approval in November. So we are working, as we say in Ghana, assiduously and to make sure that we are able to meet that. And I believe that we will. There are a lot of conditions to be met, but that's what we are here for. What we call performance indicators. So the quantitative performance indicators, about 6 of them, indicative targets, about 3, and then some structural benchmarks. But I think with all of that, we've got a long way to be ready for the mission that comes at the end of September, so that we can try and get a staff level agreement while the mission is here, and then go to the board in November for the release of the second tranche, which will be $600 million. In addition to that, certain things we also need to do with the World Bank so that we can get our DPO, which will be another $300 million.
Mr. Oforiatta further expressed confidence in concluding talks with the Paris Club and its bilateral creditors by the end of 2023.
Some 91% participation, 97% participation or so of the 7.7 billion. We also had about $740 million of US denominated bonds, and also we got about 92% participation. And then finally we were able to strike a deal with the pension funds of their 29.6 billion and got 95% of it. So I believe now we have a certain sense of control as to what we pay in coupons, and therefore give us some fiscal space to be able to do other things. So then we are left with concluding our discussions with the Paris Club to get to a memorandum of understanding for these bilateral facilities, and also the Eurobonds. So those are in discussions. I believe that we will make good headway with that. We really expect that we should be able to conclude both this year. There's going to be a lot of discussions both with the Paris Club to fit a common framework, and also the Eurobonds and investors.
That was the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta.
We'll take you now to the Bono region because the lifeless body of the Kruntihene of Goso traditional area in that part of the country, Nana Yinshura Kwajokuma, has been found in a bush. The body was found in a bush close to the Goso township and has thrown the entire community into a state of mourning. Now, the body has since been deposited at the Goso Government Hospital morgue. The Ahafo Regional Police Command has also begun investigations into the incident. Son of the late Chief Richard Kwabna Echampon has been speaking to Citi News.
From the eyewitness, they found him under a certain tree. He was lying prostrate, but he was lifeless. He was there. Yes. His clothes were not torn. There was no blood anywhere. There was no evidence of struggle or something. There was nothing like that. Yes. The body is at the Goso Government Hospital. Police, from the start, the police were involved. So the regional CID, the district CID, and all those people were involved. So from the start, we have involved them.
Son of the late Kruntihine of the Goso traditional area in the Bono region, Richard Kwabnai Champon speaking.
Now, police in Koforidua are pleading with residents and the general public to volunteer information to help unravel the death of 2 women yesterday. The first, an aged woman, died on the spot after being knocked down by a speeding taxi with registration number ER 942-19 at Koforidua Old Estate Junction. The driver of the taxi cab, sensing danger, took to his heels after the incident. Also, residents of Jemfikrum near Debiasem in the New Draben North municipality woke up to see the lifeless body of a middle-aged market woman alleged to have been attacked and killed by unknown assailant. It's unclear the motive behind the incident, but the police visited the scene to convey the body to the St. Joseph Hospital and have commenced investigations.
Now, 1 person has died and another in critical condition at the Upper East Regional Hospital after their motorbikes collided on at the Bogatanga-Navrongo Highway. Now, the 2 men sustained serious head injuries and 1 died on the spot. The 2 were moving in the opposite direction when the incident occurred.
Now, President Akufo-Addo says the ban on illegal mining, also known as galamsey, is yielding positive results towards the aim of reducing carbon emissions. Activities of illegal miners in Ghana have contributed largely to the pollution of water bodies and the destruction of forest reserves, posing a challenge to dealing with the impacts of climate change. Speaking at the 2023 Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi, Kenya, President Akufo-Addo outlined a series of measures taken by the government in tackling climate change in Ghana.
We have introduced major policy interventions that have imperatives. Our flagship programs, whether they are the programs for planting for food and jobs, or 1 village, 1 dam, or 1 district, 1 factory, are all geared towards boosting industrialization and rural development, as well as building our resilience to the impacts of climate change. The strategic focus of the 1 Village, 1 Dam initiative, for example, in the northern regions of our country, is to provide all year-round access to water to smallholder farmers who practically have no viable livelihood alternatives during the long dry seasons. We're also determined to make natural gas, which we have in abundance, available for the generation of electricity. We placed a ban on illegal mining, the phenomenon we call galamsey, which was destroying our water bodies, vegetation, and our forests. Some 20,000 young people have been engaged to plant more than 30 million trees in 2 years to create jobs and restore degraded land. These policy initiatives are already using positive results to the attainment of the SDG goals, particularly the goal of reducing our carbon emissions. Additionally, I've established an advisory group of prominent private sector chief executives who are setting up a $100 million SDGs delivery fund and a $200 million green fund to complement government's efforts at tackling climate change and funding the implementation of the SDGs.
That was President Akufo-Addo. Now, the Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Raphael Patrick Safo, says he's confident of being cleared of any wrongdoing by the disciplinary committee of the party. Mr. Safo was hauled before the committee for allegedly acting contrary to the party's election rules during the special delegate conference held 2 weeks ago. His vote was annulled after he was caught on video attempting to show who he voted for. In an interview with Citi News after meeting the committee, Raphael Patrick Safo explained that his actions were misinterpreted as he did not intend to show his vote.
The engagement has been done with members of the respected committee. So I'm waiting for the report.
I have they've given you when you should hear from them?
I think I'll be waiting. I was not given the specific date and a day, but I think per what I was told, after this engagement, the report will be given out for us to know, I think, whatever happened.
What are your expectations as you wait?
My brother, I've been in this party for a very long time, and a very hardworking party person, of course. And I thought at a point in time I wouldn't do anything to bring the image of the party into disrepute, especially when I knew the regulation, the specifics of the regulation. So I tried my best not to do anything that would go contrary to the already issued regulations. But the misinterpretation of my action attracted me to where I am now. So hopefully I'm expecting a very good decision in my favor.
Raphael Patrick Safo is the Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer of the governing New Patriotic Party. This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. This afternoon I'm here with Kweku Adriama and still to come. Residents of Kumasi urged to exercise patience and cooperate as authorities begin permanent works on the Swami Interchange project. We have details of that plus other stories coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
It's time for the ultimate corporate sports gathering, the Citi Business Olympics 2023. Get ready to unleash your competitive spirit and showcase your athletic prowess as we bring together the best of the best from the corporate world. From traditional sports like seven-a-side football, basketball, sack race, and volleyball to unique challenges like tug of war and arm wrestling, there's no shortage of excitement and adrenaline pumping action. So gather your colleagues, lace up your sneakers, and get ready to compete in the Citi Business Olympics. It's time to show off your skills, build connections, and have a blast in the ultimate corporate sports extravaganza. To register your company to participate, call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 now. Which company will emerge as champion and which CEO will win the ultimate CEO's challenge at the Citi Business Olympics 2023? We will find out on the 30th of September 2023. Venue, Eden Heights Sports Complex. Wager, time 8 a.m. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Unicom Chemists Limited and EK Brand Consults.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for staying with us. Now, a transport systems engineer, Eji Boatin, has advocated for the remodeling of Accra to ease the traffic situation in the national capital. Public transportation in Accra has been less than optimal compared to other African countries where trains, rapid bus transport, water transport, among others, have been executed to ease the mobility for the labour force. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, Engineer Eji Boatin identified the concentration of economic activities at the centre of Accra as a major factor for the massive traffic congestion. He therefore called for a remodeling of the land use in Accra to redirect traffic from the centre.
Accra is a semi-cycle. Everybody comes from the outer cycle to the centre of the cycle. So there's a lot of pressure on the network, on the access. So if you look at Accra to Kaswa, there's a lot of pressure. Accra Central to Achimota, a lot of pressure. Accra Central to Adenta, a lot of pressure. Accra Central to Tema, a lot of pressure. And these are the radials of the city. So for us to break the radials to develop a very good system, then we need to rather look at the land use of Accra to break the land use into polymetric cities, centers, so that along the cities we would find out why are people coming to the center of Accra and see whether we can really redirect their routes to shopper trips. Because it's the longer trips that is really causing the problem. Because right now, you can bet that almost everybody spends more than an hour in traffic from house to work. And it's not good. We have to be able to be cautious to make sure that we put in the polycentric cities around the circumference of the city so that shorter trips are developed so that not everybody comes to the city of Accra, so that we'll get a very clean transport network.
Ajay Boateng is a transport systems engineer.
From the Greater Accra region, let's take you to the Ashanti region now, because the general motoring public is urged to exercise patience and cooperate as authorities begin permanent works for the Swami Interchange project in Kumasi. Individuals occupying road reservations are being relocated to facilitate the expansion of major roads aimed at alleviating vehicular congestion in areas affected by the interchange. Our Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani has more.
Over the past few months, authorities have been evicting occupants of road reservations along the Swami Offenso Highway. This eviction is necessary to enable contractors to widen the road network, ultimately reducing the inconvenience for motorists when the interchange project officially begins. James Amu Godfred, the director of the Department of Urban Roads, provides an overview of the project's progress.
As we have been saying, the project is doing the 2x3, that's expanding the route, and also constructing 3 overpasses. One at Anomanji, what is normally known as Swami Post Office Junction. Then one is the Swami New Road Junction, the road which connects to the Tafu Road. And the last one is at Ebusiankrua. These are locations where we are doing overpasses. They are congested locations and want to free the traffic. As you do know, the Swami Road, otherwise called Offenso Road, is what is known as the N10 in the Ghana Highway Authority Road. It's a road which is going all the way to the northern border of the country. So there are different needs along the road. There are people who are coming to Swami Magazine and other places in Swami. There are others who are going as far as to the north or Offenso and beyond. So it's important that we ensure that if you don't have too much to do within the local area, you are free to travel quickly and not be kept in traffic unduly. So these are the 3 locations for the overpasses and also the widening of the road. And we hope that when this phase of the work is done, traffic would have been sufficiently relieved and people will have a better quality of life.
Construction of ancillary roads has commenced as part of the project, with diversions in place. Rango Limited, the construction firm, reports that utility companies are actively cooperating in relocating underground cables to facilitate the work. Mohammed Abdullahi Umar Fazani, a contractor at Rango Construction Limited, shares insights with City News.
We start do the cleaning for the both side of the road to allow the utilities companies to come and do the relocation for the Water Ghana Company and ECG and Vodafone, MTN, the C Square. So without cleaning this place, no anyone can start. So this is the first step. The first step, we clear the place to them to come and start do the relocation for the utilities there.
How is cooperation like? Those people, are they cooperating?
Yes. It's very cooperative with us. They helping us too much. All the assembly there, the Ghana Water Company, SCG.
Authorities appeal to motorists for patience and understanding as temporary inconveniences may arise.
This is a project that the people of Kumasi and indeed the people of Ghana have been expecting for a long time. Finally, we are starting with permanent works. I will plead that we exercise restraint when using that road so that we can be safe at all times on the construction sections of the road. And we hope that within a couple of years, we'll be able to deliver the project as expected. Well, what is happening is that at the moment you have a 2-lane dual carriage. The final product is going to be a 3-lane dual carriage. So we are creating a 3rd lane, and that requires widening and using the available right-of-way left. So that's what the contractor is doing now. We are also working on some local roads which will serve as diversion during the construction, particularly around where we are doing the overpasses.
Presently, going through the traffic is bad enough. So we would want to lessen that burden by ensuring that these diversionary routes are well laid out and that can be used to move those who do not have anything to do at the Swami roundabout. So I would expect that all of you motorists, pedestrians, and the general public to heed the signs which we would place. And of course, you would have people who are there, the flagmen, who would direct you. Please heed and help us undertake this project smoothly without any hitches.
Additionally, plans are underway to remove other permanent structures to kickstart the project's commencement.
Authorities are urging road users to fully cooperate with contractors who will be working to execute the Swami Interchange project. Hafiz Tijani, City News, Ashanti Region.
Now, residents and commuters in Palba, a community in the Saboba district of the northern region, are facing significant challenges due to flooding on the road connecting Saboba to other communities. They are urgently requesting government's intervention to address this issue, as they are forced to pay exorbitant fees to canoe operators in Palba who are capitalizing on the situation. Our Northern Regional correspondent Mohammed M. Alabira visited the Palba area and has put together this report, read to you by Hawa Ijisu Mustafa.
Traveling to Saboba during this season is consistently daunting as the road section at Palba is submerged by water. Commuters traveling to and from Saboba must rely on canoes for transport, with operators taking advantage of the situation to charge passengers 10 cedis and motorbikes 30 cedis for crossings. Canoe operators reveal that they are making daily earnings ranging from 400 to 500 cedis, which for some meets their needs. Some of them have been interacting with City News.
Rainy season like this, we use our canoe to help people to cross, and we ourselves, we are worried about the water. Maybe it may happen that someone will fall sick here and they will tell us to send the person to Saboba. Like the way the water will cross the road, how to go to Saboba, it may be a problem for us too. So the water is worrying everybody, not about those people at Saboba or Balaba is different for Saboba. The water is worrying everybody about
But you people are making money here. You are making money.
No. We will always use our canoe to help people to cross.
Not for free.
And not for free, you know. We will also chop. If you don't have strength, you can't drive canoe here up and down to 6 o'clock or getting to the time you close.
You will help them to cross, and if you get them, those will give us chop money.
Like how much?
10 cedis.
10 cedis?
Yeah.
So somebody come here with a motorbike, like these people that have just arrived.
Yes, sir.
How much will they pay?
Yeah, they'll pay 10 cedis.
10 cedis?
Yes, sir.
With a motorbike?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So in the end, at the time you close, how much do you make here?
After you end, maybe we'll get about, let's say, 3.
What is 3?
3 million.
3 million? 300
yeah,
cedis?
300
That you make?
Yeah.
Wow, 300 cedis.
Yes, sir.
Then it's your prayer that the water should come more so that you just make water, because you don't buy fuel. Is that not it? You don't buy fuel.
But we don't buy fuel, but how we are driving our body to...
But you are getting money too.
We used to steal ourselves again.
Several passengers have expressed their dissatisfaction with these charges. Commuters complain about the high fees, especially considering the cost of traveling by motorbike due to current fuel prices. A trip from Yendi to Saboba requires 50 cedis worth of fuel each way and an additional 40 cedis at the bridge, totaling 90 cedis for the round trip. This does not include other expenses, meaning one needs at least 200 cedis for a round trip between Yendi and Saboba, and even more for journeys from more distant places like Tamale and Bimbilam. They express their unexpected hardships to City News.
We are surprised. Probably from Kentampo going to our hometown. But we don't know how to do and cross the river to our hometown.
You go by canoe.
Yes,
we have to
pay, but our pocket is not good.
We are heading to Saboba, so we don't know that here
water has taken the road maybe we can't pass. So we reached here before they told us that we can't pass unless maybe we use the canoe to cross. Wow. So it's a big problem.
And now you are going to pay for crossing.
And even this is my first time sitting on this thing, so I don't know how it is. I don't know how to maybe cope.
As we are standing, we've used all our money for fuel. Okay. And I don't know how we're going to manage to cross this. Wow. Government, at least government of Ghana, they should turn to our side too. Because looking at from Tamale to Accra side, it's like the government concentrate on that side than north. Because I'm going to my hometown, I can't cross. I don't have money now.
Last week, Saboba residents staged a protest from Saboba to the Palba Bridge, demanding immediate action to fix the road. They presented a petition to the district chief executive for Saboba, giving the government a month ultimatum to address the bridge's condition.
We want our roads to be fixed now. Every year round, when this place is flooded, our fares are increased. And when the waters are gone, it doesn't reduce. It waits till the next year, then it will increase again. So we want our roads fixed. So people can go from here to freely. That is why we are demonstrating today.
You heard there a report filed by Citi News' Mohammed M. Alabira and read to you by Hawa Ijisu Mustafa.
Now, an urban planning and mobility expert, Dr. Bernard Abeyiku Arthur, has blamed the lack of financial commitment to transportation projects for the state of traffic congestion in Ghana's cities. Lagos State commissioned its much-awaited Blue Line, a rapid electric transit railway line that transports 500,000 passengers a day. The development has left many questioning why Ghana has failed to fulfill her own transportation master plan despite having a dedicated ministry for railway. The Tema-Mpakadan railway line, which was projected to be opened this year, is now expected to be commissioned next year, while several railway projects have stalled or slowed down. Meanwhile, government much-touted SkyTrain project has been cancelled after spending $2 billion on feasibility studies. Speaking to Citi News, Dr. Bernard Abeyiku Arthur attributes the slow pace of development in the railway sector to lack of financial commitment.
Three things that are really worrying us. We have been planning and planning and planning. We have not been implementing. We have been putting measures in place, but we are not enforcing and ensuring that the right things are followed. We have been planning and not adding money where we are supposed to put money to ensure that the systems are running. Transport is like the heart of every city or of every town. If you shut transport and you shut energy, you ground an economy completely. And we've been planning, we've been talking about rail, we've been talking about non-motorized transport, even ensuring people can walk easily. We've been talking about high occupancy vehicles, that is moving people en bloc in our policies and all that. But we are not putting money and effort and enforcement where we are supposed to do. That is what is worrying us. This conversation takes us to leadership and what leadership ought to do to make sure that we are moving. Lagos came to implement urban transport when we had started, and they've gone far away. It's not just 10 cities in Africa. There are about 15, even including Calabar, again in Nigeria, who are thinking about sustainable transport, not only rail and BRT.
Dr. Bernard Abeyiku Arthur is an urban planning, mobility and planning expert. The Member of Parliament for North Ton, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has alleged that the country could be paying in excess of $400 million in compensation for the new Bank of Ghana head office under construction. The MP says parliamentary oversight has uncovered documents pointing to the central bank choosing the piece of land without due diligence. In a social media post, Mr. Okudzeto Ablakwa alleged that ITEL Construct, a construction company, presented guarantee bonds from SIC as credit guarantee to secure a 19 million cedis facility from Ivory Finance Company, but defaulted. Ivory Finance then took legal action and attached the new BOG head office land in issue and secured consent judgment in November 2014. Subsequently, government through an executive instrument compulsorily acquired the land, but according to Mr. Ablakwa, compensation has not been paid. Also based on the consent judgment which has not been set aside, the interest and penalties which have accrued, as well as factoring inflation, experts confirm that a combined compensation will not be less than 400 million cedis.
In more stories, government has reiterated its commitment to providing financial assistance to Ghanaians to enable them afford decent accommodation. Now, according to the Ministry of Works and Housing, government is working with private estate developers to support individuals who are unable to afford their own homes. Speaking at the commissioning of an ultra-modern 40 estate housing unit financed by the State Housing Company Limited at Amrehia in Accra, the sector minister, Francis Asensubuachi, explains government-reviewed housing program to support low and middle income earners.
Government's interest is to offer support to the private sector so that the private sector can develop, can take the lead in housing construction. What the private sector lacks is the support from government, and that is what this government seeks to do by providing that support in the form of subsidies by providing free unencumbered land, which is important because you know how land is very important in housing construction. And sometimes our land tenure system makes it difficult for people to access unencumbered land. But government is leveraging on public lands to do that. And one big important component of housing development is what we call horizontal infrastructure, which is the roads you see, the curbs, the drains, the sewage, electricity, water. Government is also leveraging on its traditional responsibility of infrastructure provision to make sure that the cost of housing will reduce.
Francis Asensubuachi is the Minister for Works and Housing. Meanwhile, the Managing Director for the State Housing Company Limited, Kwabena Ampofo-Appiah, has been giving background about the facility and other projects under construction.
Legacy Court stands at a place where it used to be an abandoned site, etc. So we reclaimed this land from the squatters some years ago, and construction started about 18 to 24 months ago. This is the finished product that you see here. So the estate is made up of 3 and 4 bedroom townhomes and also single family homes. And it has various level of finishing. We also have a sports facility here, launching a sport, and also a mini market that residents can patronize. So the concept of this estate was to serve as a support system for our affordable housing project. So for those of you who are aware, we have an affordable housing project under construction now in Pokuase and also in Kuferidia and in other areas. So we built this to sort of target the mid-income earners.
You heard that the Managing Director for the State Housing Company Limited, Kwabena Ampofo-Appiah.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, we'll take you back to the Ashanti region, where traders at the Kumasi KJTM market have hoisted red flags throughout the facility, signaling a warning to its management to urgently address the numerous challenges facing the facility. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Hi, Daddy. Yeah, the semester is going great, and I'm really enjoying my last few classes. Can you believe that I'm graduating next July? The time went by so fast.
My dear Apna, you keep making us so proud. Hey, is that so? 4 years went by just like that? Your mom will be so thrilled to see you walking across that stage to receive your degree.
I know, right? I just can't wait. But Daddy, please, do not wait until the last minute. You remember my friend, Sewa. Her parents missed her graduation ceremony last year because they didn't get the visas in time. Please, Daddy, I don't want you and Mommy to miss this important milestone.
You're right, too. But how do we even start this process?
Daddy, you remember Askia Immigration Consulting Services? The one that helped me with my study permit application. They can assist you with your visitor visas too.
Abner, you are absolutely right. And as we are getting close to the end of the year, we need to start the process ASAP to make sure that we can get the visas in time. We cannot miss your graduation, no. Let me contact them right now to assist us with the applications.
Yes, Daddy, please do. And get your kinty ready.
Parents of the class of 2024, don't miss this opportunity to attend your child's upcoming graduation in Canada. Start your visa application process now by contacting Askia Immigration Consulting Services on 0241 318890 or 0595 449054 or 0506 012289. Again, that is 0241 318890 or 0595 449054 or 0506 012289. They are located on the 8th floor of the number 1 Airport Square building in Airport City near the Holiday Inn Hotel. Their social media handles are at Askia Immigration on Facebook and Instagram and at Askia Immigrate on Twitter. Askia Immigration Consulting Services, your Canadian immigration partner, here to help you visit, study, and immigrate to Canada. Askia, your journey to Canada starts here.
I'll take you there.
The grand finale of the Literacy Challenge 2023 is here. Congratulations to our top 10 finalists. But the big question is, who out of our top 10 wins the ultimate prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis, a trophy, 6-month supply of Ribby Crunchy biscuits, and the bragging rights as the Literacy Challenge winner for 2023? Support your favorite student and let's promote literacy in Ghana. Tune in live to Citi TV for the grand finale on Saturday, 7th October 2023. Call 0558 973 973 for inquiries. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV, supported by 97.3 Citi FM, and is sponsored by the Ghana National Gas Company, Ribby Crunchy Biscuits by M4 Foods, SIC Insurance PLC, Perspectives Ghana Limited, Dex Technology, Alive Soap, and Fortune Rice.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Poultry Farmers Association is expressing concern that farmers may not readily comply with the government's request to have their birds, eggs, and feed destroyed by veterinary officers as a preventive measure against the potential spread of bird flu in the future. Their concern stems from government delay in compensating them following the destruction of their poultry and other farm products during last year's bird flu outbreak. Despite the government's earlier commitment to provide compensation totaling a little over 789 million cedis, the association bemoans no compensation has been made. Kofi Dosa, chairman of the Efia-Kwesi Poultry Farmers Association, emphasized the urgent need for the government to address their demands.
I'm afraid farmers might not willingly take their birds to the veterinary for checks. What they will now do is that they would slaughter them and put them on the market. And you and I are at risk of eating birds infected with bird flu. You never know which funeral you attend or which, birthday party or whatever party you would go and then enjoy the chicken served you. What if they are all infested? So it is a public health issue. I'm the chairman of the Efia-Kwesi Poultry Farmers Association. How would you expect me to go and tell my colleague farmers that when you have it, take it to, the procedures are there. You take it to the vet, they will come and check, do all the lab tests, come and confirm, and then they stop you from selling anything. because everything you have in the food would be destroyed. We are all at risk. That is why we think that the government must heed to, the promise made.
That was the chairman of the Efia Kwesimintim Poultry Farmers Association, Kofi Dosa.
We'll take you to the Ashanti region now because its regional branch of the School Feeding Caterers Association has expressed excitement about steps being taken by the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection to address delays in paying caterers. Now, the sector minister, Lariba Zureira Abudu, in a media engagement, indicated that a software has been developed to curb bottlenecks in paying school feeding caterers, adding that it will be deployed by next year. Speaking to Citi News, the secretary of the Ashanti Regional Branch of the School Feeding Caterers Association, Dorothy Ofori Sapon, said that digitalization efforts will address challenges confronting them.
We're doing things normal, like manual. It delays because as the process goes, they ask the information from the desk officers through the education. And so it goes through processes from desk office, education, regional, before it gets to the national or the gender ministry. So it delays. So now if a software is developed, it's a welcome news. Right now, it's left with the second term payment of this year. And so there are some areas that she's also working on it. The consensus have been sent to her. And so she promised that she's also working on it. And so we are waiting for her. She has seen how difficult the women are going through. And so we don't know that type of software. But since she has communicated it, she knows that whatever they are developing will help facilitate the payment fast. And so this is what we are all praying for. And so we are waiting patiently for that software to be enrolled on so that we could all test and then we see how best it will help us.
You have the Dorothy Ofori Sapon, who is the Ashanti Region Secretary for the School Feeding Caterers Association.
Now, aggrieved Men's Gold customers say they are hopeful government will ensure that justice prevails so they can retrieve their funds. Their plea comes after the Attorney General and Minister of Justice filed a noli prosequi in the case against the Chief Executive of Men's Gold, Nana Appiah Mensah. The case, which began in 2019, has suffered 36 adjournments, with his plea yet to be taken in a substituted charge sheet. The failure of the Office of the AG to give its judgment on the docket was said to be the cause for the delay. Speaking to Citi News, convener of the Men's Gold customers, Fred Forson, appealed to the Attorney General to make it a daily trial.
Even though our definition and our understanding of justice is expanded to include the payment of our money by the state. So on that score, we welcome that. We also pledge that we shall support the legal process so that we shall get justice, especially for our members who have died, over 210 of them. We would also want to request that the Honorable Attorney General should ask the court for a daily trial, just as it's been done in other cases, so that justice will be served speedily to the customers. So we welcome the news, and it has brought some hope.
Apologies for the poor quality of that insert, but that was the spokesperson for the aggrieved customers of Men's Gold, Fred Forson.
Now, over 3,000 national identification cards, also known as the Ghana cards, remain uncollected at the Sunyani East District Office of the National Identification Authority. Now, according to the NIA, many applicants have hesitated picking up their cards, although various means have been adopted to ensure they do so. Phase 2 of the registration exercise has begun, and residents of the Sunyani who registered for their cards in the previous phase are encouraged to go for their cards. Citi News' Bono regional correspondent Michael Saponinfum has more in this report.
There are still over 3,000 uncollected cards in the custody of the Sunyani East Office of the National Identification Authority in the Bono region. Though the office has adopted various means to ensure that the inhabitants come for their cards, many are still adamant. Daniel Ejecheme is a registration officer at the Sunyani East District Office of the National Identification Authority.
Currently, we still have, at the end of last month, we had 3,093 cards in our possession, yet to be collected cards. We embarked on community issuance. We started community issuance on the 27th of July, and we visited some communities within the Sunyani municipalities. And surprisingly, some of the communities, the turnout were high, some were low, but we were able to give out some cars. But we still have chunk of the cars in the office. Chunk of the cars. So currently we still have over 3,000 cars in our possession yet to be collected.
The office has begun the phase 2 of the registration exercise.
Yes. So actually, since last week, we've had people trooping in. When the information came out, I think most people forgot that or didn't realize that it was in 2 phases. The first phase was supposed to focus on public sector workers. And so we had people who were not public sector workers trooping in to come and register. They made attempts to register, but were told that the second phase will start 11 September. And unfortunately, for the public sector enrollment that we wanted to do, the patronage was very low. For the whole week, we didn't register a single person. So we assumed that most of the public sector workers are already having their Ghana cards. And so today, we have been given the go-ahead to start with the others, those who don't have Ghana card and are not on public sector payroll. So today we've had at least about 15 people turning up to make attempts to register. Yes.
Some of the registrants have been telling Citi News the reason why they are now registering for their cards.
The reason is I'm outside now. It's now that I get opportunity to come to Ghana. So I take it as opportunity again to do it as a Ghanaian. That's why it has kept long for me to come and do it. I'm not in the town. That's why. Okay, my little advice to them is everybody, they should come and do it because even in Europe, that's where I am, with that card, you cannot do anything. The card is just identify you. It's do anything, bank, everything, even to rent a house, you have to get a card, ID card. You have to know your name and your date of birth and whatever. So that without the card, you cannot do anything. As the Vice President introduced this card, I think it's opportunity for any Ghanaian to do it so that for the people who are doing scam and all that kind of thing will stop.
I wasn't able to register for the first time, and I heard they are now registering, so I'm now free, and then I decided to pass by and see what are the things I will need to bring so that they will register me. And when I came, they told me I should bring my birth cert then, and mine too is not with me. So they said I should bring my relative who are already registered. So I'm going to call my mom and come and verify for me.
Inhabitants of Sunyani who have registered for their cards are being admonished to go for their cards.
So we advise that we don't have to wait till you urgently need the card before you come to the office. There are few instances whereby people will come, and that is when we realize that they've made a mistake on their card and needs to do an update or a correction. And so it becomes difficult if it is an urgent one. You urgently need the card, but you have to go through a process to maybe effect a change on the card. It becomes an issue. So the advice is that so far as you know you've registered for your Ghana card, your card is ready and it's printed at the office, the district office or the regional office you went to do your card. So the cards are there for collection. Go for them. Don't wait till an emergency. Don't wait till you really need the card.
From the office of the National Identification Authority in the Sunyani East District, I am Michael Saponifun for Citi News.
Back here in the studios, my name is Hawa Idris Mustafa here with Kweko Adriama and Sana. Traders at the KJTM market have hoisted red flags signaling a warning to management to urgently address their challenges. In a letter sent to the management on Friday, September 1, the traders expressed their intent to take a series of actions to compel management to resolve issues related to separate meters and the construction of a borehole for water supply within the facility. The traders lament that these actions have become necessary due to multiple unsuccessful attempts and engagement with management to address their concerns. Now, beginning today, September 5, the traders have adorned the market with red banners as part of their planned protests. And that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. Please log on to citinewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and I was here with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Thank you very much for doing the listening. Do have a great afternoon.
Citi